You probably think your Speedcube is clean. You wipe it down, you keep it in its case, and it looks perfectly fine from the outside. But I'm here to tell you, your Speedcube is hiding a dirty little secret. Just beneath the surface, on the parts that you never see, is a disgusting, performance-killing graveyard of old, sticky lubricant, dust, hair, and skin particles. This buildup isn't just gross, it's actively making you slower by causing your cube to feel sluggish, gritty, and unpredictable. It's the reason your turns aren't as smooth as they used to be, and it might even be causing unnecessary wear and tear on the plastic. But here's the good news. In this video, I'm going to show you the disgusting truth hiding inside your cube, and then walk you through a super easy step-by-step deep clean. You won't need any fancy equipment, and by the end of this, your cube will be ready for a fresh start. So, if you're ready to bring your cube back from the dead, let's get started. First things first, let's prove it. I have here 2 cubes that have been reliable practice puzzles for the past few months. It doesn't feel terrible, but it's definitely lost that buttery smooth magic it once had. Watch this. To get inside, you just have to turn the top layer 45 degrees, pry the corner pieces apart, and just pop out the edge piece. If your cube is too tight, then you might want to pop off a center cap, loosen the tensions, and then pop out an edge piece. Once that edge is out, the rest of the piece come out pretty easily. Now, let's have a look. So if you look carefully at the edge piece, you can see there's quite a bit of dust. There's like lubricant dots, actually quite a bit of everything. There's like some dirt particles in there from when I dropped this cube. Same over here, like there's just a ton of old lubricant. It's worse on the corner pieces since it has the dragon wave pattern that collects dust pretty easily. And now I'm going to be doing this clean on 2 cubes. This is my Weilong V10. It has a MagLev tension system, and I'll show you guys how to clean out a cube with that. And then this is just a standard RS3 MV5 that I modded with core magnets. And then I'm going to show you guys how to clean out a spring tension system as well. Now that you're thoroughly grossed out and motivated, let's talk about the solution. And you'll be relieved to know it's incredibly simple. Your primary weapon is a clean, soft cloth. A microfiber cloth is ideal because it grabs the fine particles without leaving them behind. In a pinch, a heavy-duty paper towel will work, but microfiber is definitely better. This is for the bulk of the cleaning. Next, for getting into those hard-to-reach spots, like the little crevices and tracks on the pieces, a few cotton swabs or an old soft toothbrush are perfect. They can gently scrub away any stubborn grime without scratching the plastic. Now, what not to use is just as important. Stay away from harsh chemicals and especially WD-40. While it might seem like a good idea, it's not a true lubricant, and its solvents can break down the specialized silicone lube in your cube, attract more dirt, and over time it can even make the plastic brittle. And what about water? The biggest rule is to never get the core or any other metal pieces wet. However, you can wash the individual plastic pieces with a little mild soap and water as long as you make sure they are 100% bone dry before reassembly. Most cleanings though, a simple dry wipe down is all you need. Finally, and this is the step that makes all the difference, you'll need some proper Speedcube lubricant for when we're done. Cleaning is only half the battle. So, today I'm going to be using 2 microfiber cloths, one wet, one dry, one to clean and one to dry. And then you're also going to need a screwdriver to remove the springs if you have a spring tension cube. And you also need adjustment tools if you have them, and then any lube that you might have to set it up afterwards. So now that we already have one edge piece popped out of each cube, taking apart the rest of the cube is pretty easy. What you want to do is you're just going to like pop out a corner next, pop out another edge, and then now you can just kind of twist it around a bit, and then the entire thing just kind of falls apart. keep all the pieces together, and then put the core aside. I'll show you how to clean it later. And then I'm going to do the same to the RS3M. So as more proof that there's a ton of gunk in your cubes, look at the magnets on the inside of this cube. They used to be clean when I bought them to mod the cube, but now just look at them. And you can see the amount of lube getting on my fingers. And when I rub my fingers together, I can feel the dirt inside. Now that you have your cubes taken apart, you want to get one microfiber cloth wet, and then you can start wiping down the pieces. Okay, now that you have a wet microfiber cloth, make sure it's not like dripping wet, like it's just damp as of now. What you want to do is, I usually like to start with the corner pieces since they're a bit easier. So you just take the cloth and then you just like wipe down the feet, the magnet, and then the contact surfaces. When you're cleaning out a cube, you want to make sure for any pieces that have like metal parts or magnets in them, you don't want to submerge it because it will cause rust. Same with the core. If it has metal parts or like a core in general, you just don't want to put it in water because it will damage it. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this, a wet piece, and I'm gonna take my dry cloth, and then I'm just gonna dry it, especially the magnet that's on the corner foot, just to make sure it doesn't rust. And now that once it's done, it feels a lot better than it used to. It's dry, it's clean, there's no lube on it at all. And then you just want to rinse and repeat for the rest of the corner pieces. Okay, so now that you've done the corner pieces, time to move on to edges. If you have a very basic cube, like maybe a beginner level GAN, or maybe even a Rubiks brand, your edge piece probably isn't going to look like this. But because this is a very high level flagship Moyu cube, the edges are very complex. Usually you can just wipe this down, but if you want to get like into the tracks as much as you can, you're probably going to want to take a toothbrush or maybe a Q-tip and then just get in there. So you just got to repeat the same process that you did with the corners. Wipe it down, dry it, make sure this thing doesn't get wet since edges and corners both have magnets. And yeah, let's get to it. Okay, so now that we've done my Weilong, I'm going to move on to the RS3M. Okay, so now that you have your cubes cleaned, I'm going to show you how to clean out the core. So this is the core for the Weilong V10. It's got the ball core and it has a MagLev tension system. If your core has MagLev, you're going to want to be more careful when you disassemble it, because if two magnets, if two of the ring magnets fly to each other too quickly, the magnet will shatter. I've already lost the magnet on the yellow face due to that. So you're gonna pry off the center cap, and then here you see, well, as you can see, the yellow already fell off because I'm missing a magnet for the tension. When the pieces are in place, this doesn't usually happen, but when it's not, it just tends to fall out. So this is a dual adjustment system, at least the one from Lube. And then you can see it's a couple of gears. You're gonna want to make sure you remember in what order do these gears go in, so you can put it back the proper way. If you just pull this apart, that's the bottom gear. It's the top gear. And then you can see there's a magnet here, and that magnet actually comes off of the top little piece. So I do one at a time just so you don't have any issues with the magnets. But what you do next is you just wipe it down inside, make sure you get like all around the center cap as well. That's clean. This goes in like that. Take this piece, put the magnet on it, set that inside of this piece, place it in there, and then that's one cleaned out. And then you just want to replace and put back. Don't put back the center cap yet because you're going to need to look at the inside to be able to put it back on the core. But then you just want to do the same for others. I'll do white. I'll show you guys what it looks like with two magnets. So as you can see, this magnet just flies off. There's a magnet in there. When you put the magnets back, you have to make sure that the two magnets repel. So what you're going to want to do is you probably just want to leave it on the side first. So when you actually reattach it to the core, you can see what it looks like. Okay, so now that you have all the center pieces taken apart, just want to take the core. Just want to wipe it down as well. It's because there's a lot of lube in here. Make sure you get these stalks. Make sure you don't break them, especially because in modern day puzzles they use pretty brittle plastic. It's not what it used to be. So there you go. And then now, once I dry this, then we can start putting this back together. This goes on one of the stalks, and then this just goes in here. You want to make sure it's lined up, and then there's like notches which determine if it goes in or just stays on, and then you want to rotate it. You want to rotate the top piece until it sticks like that, and then you just want to repeat the same thing for the rest of the puzzle. This might actually pop out, so what I want to do is put a center cap on it. The first one doesn't matter, the rest they have to be in an order. So I'll explain to that when I get there. So let's just fix another one. Once you have two in, one white, this can't be yellow because yellow is opposite of white. Once you have two in, the order of the rest of the colors is determined by that. Red is on the right of blue, so blue would go here. So red is opposite of orange, blue is opposite of green, and then white is opposite of yellow. That's how you determine the color orientation. And now I'm just going to do the rest. Okay, so now that you have the core reassembled, you can put the pieces back in. If you're a beginner, I do not recommend taking apart the core since putting it back together is pretty complicated. But if you're a rather advanced cuber, this would probably be a good step for you to take. So now you take your pieces, and then you just want to reassemble the puzzle by matching the colors. So the way I do it is I first go and build the cross, set it down, put in the corner pieces, and then put in the edges. When you're putting them in, you have to make sure the colors match, otherwise you can end up with an unsolvable puzzle. And I just leave one, and then I put in the furthest corner, and then I just spiral outwards. Pop in the corner, and then pop in the final edge. So what you want to do now is you're going to want to tension the cube to your preferences. So I'm just going to quickly set this up. So now that this cube is cleaned and tensioned properly, now what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to quickly set up the cube the way I like it. So Stardust, FC Calm, FC Rush, that's all I really need. So we're gonna dampen it real quick. And then add 1 drop of Stardust and 1 drop of SC Rush just to give it a little bit more speed. Now that's my main Weilong V10 fully set up. Now I'm going to move on to cleaning out the RS3M core. This one's simple. Just pop up the center caps, remove the screws, make sure you don't lose the washers or the springs, wipe down the core, reassemble it. It's kind of the same thing except there's a spring. Make sure you wipe down the spring as well, because all the lube that gets on it can start to cause it to rust. That's pretty important. You don't want to lose any parts. Make sure you put the colors back in the right order, and then other than that, it's pretty much the same as the MagLev cube. Now that everything's cleaned apart, you want to wipe everything down and then dry it. So the tricky part about reassembling a cube with springs is that you can't actually get the tension perfectly the same on each side. So what I like to do is I just pull apart two opposite sides to see how close they are. As long as they're relatively close, it should be fine. So once you're done with that, you just reassemble the cube. Okay, now that it's done, remember to lube it, because a clean but dry cube is gonna be very loud and feel very scratchy, especially for cheaper cubes like this one. So once again, I have Calm, Rush, and Stardust. So I'm gonna do 2 drops of Rush, 2 drops of Calm, and then spray in. I'm going to set up this RS3M slightly faster than I set up my Weilong, because since it's a one-handed main, it's a lot easier on my forearms if it's faster. And now my RS3M is fully cleaned and set up as well. So there you have it. The secret to a better performing, longer lasting Speedcube isn't some expensive new puzzle. It's a microfiber cloth, 10 minutes of your time, and a couple drops of the right lube. If this video helped you out, do me a huge favor and hit that like button. For more tutorials and tips to help you get faster, make sure you subscribe. There's a donations page in the description. If you guys donate $1,000 to my YouTube channel, I'll do a massive cube unboxing from the cubicle. Thanks for watching and happy cubing.